Happy Mother's Day. It's 92 degrees. It is a hot one. I'm here for my son, my older son. He had to work today. My younger one did not have to work today, so I got saved there. However, let me tell you all what happened. After I picked him, after I got out of church, I went and I got tamales. That's my favorite to have on Sundays, and it's soft, and I can eat it really good. So I went to pick up my son because he said he wanted to go by his job to collect something, and then we went to Starbucks to go get coffees. On the way home, I always take this back neighborhood so that I can avoid the busy streets. And out of nowhere, this police officer comes out. He puts his lights on, and I'm thinking, oh, he wants me to move out of the way so that he can go forward, because he didn't put his siren on or anything. So I went into the middle lane. I was cleared, by the way, and he goes into the middle lane, and I'm like, oh my God, are you pulling me over? Like, what is going on here? And yeah, I pulled into this other business, which is around the corner from my home, the apartment. And he gets down and he's like, how you doing, ma'am? Good afternoon, da 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 da. And I'm looking at him like, yeah, good afternoon. Happy Mother's Day to me. Why am I being pulled over? Like, and then he tells me, ma'am, I pulled you over because you pulled out of that neighborhood over here on whatever street that is, Main, something like that. You pulled out of that neighborhood. You didn't make a complete stop at the stop sign. You didn't look both ways, and you just went for it. And if somebody would have hit you, it would have been your fault. And I'm looking at him like, that street over there? And I'm pointing to the street, because the street is like, that neighborhood is right across from the business that I pulled into. That is just around the corner from my apartment, mind you. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And I was like, sir, I did stop. I don't go right through that stop sign. This is a busy street right here. I've been driving through there for years and years and years. I would not just go through that stop sign and turn into the main street just like that. And he's like, well, ma'am, you did, and da-da-da-da, I saw you myself, and da-da-da-da-da. And my son and I are looking at each other like, what is he talking about? Like, and he was like, I'm not going to give you a ticket. I'm just going to give you a warning, but I do need to have your driver's license. And I'm like, okay. So I handed over my driver's license to him, right? He didn't even ask me for my insurance, which I do have, by the way, but he didn't even ask for my insurance or anything like that. And then he's like, I was trying to scan your registration sticker, but it's not working. Do you mind if I open the door and scan it from the inside of the door? And I'm like, I guess. And I thought I had the door locked, but apparently my door was open, because he just opens the door. Like, he didn't even wait for me to open the door. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, oh, well, I thought maybe you would have it at the door, but I guess not. And he's like, well, never mind. And he's like, I'll be right back. So he goes to his car and he's calling in my driver's license. And I'm sitting here still confused about the whole thing, right? And I'm like, I'm telling my son, he's not going to find anything on my license. Like, I don't have any record. I don't have a record. I don't have any warrants. I don't have anything pending, And I'm like, is this really necessary for somebody that's not going to give me a ticket? Is it really necessary for him to run everything through, And so he's going through the whole process and everything. And my son's like, well, Mom, we were talking. I didn't notice, and you didn't notice. I don't know, Mom. I don't know what to tell you. Like, and I said, I don't even know what to say either, right? So he comes back. The officer comes back to my window, and he's like, here you go, ma'am. He's like, and he hands me this paper, right? And he says, now, this is not a ticket. This is just a warning. I'm just giving you this, that we had this conversation, that next time you do have to make a complete stop at the stop sign and look both ways before you turn into the street. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. And he's like, you have a good afternoon. And my son knew him, by the way, because he's a regular at the restaurant. So my son was like, hey, I know you, da-da-da-da-da, you go in over here. And he's like, oh yeah, hey, how are you doing, sir? That could have been what saved me. I don't know, but it took everything inside of me not to argue with this guy, because I was like, show me where I did not stop. You were not behind me at that stop sign. So how would you know if I stopped or not? You were already on the main road, you know? So I'm like, show me on your dash cam, like how I didn't stop and I didn't look both ways. How would you even know that, you know? But I was like, okay, he didn't give you a ticket. Just shut up, Moon, go home. So I go home. And then I was thinking about it, you know, and I was like, you know what I think happened was that everybody goes really fast through that main road. And he might have been, I was clear, mind you. I had to have stopped, okay? There's no way I'm going to go right through that stop sign and go into the main road. But I stopped. I looked both ways. Nobody was coming. There was hardly any traffic at that time or that moment. I turned. He probably was already going straight at a certain speed that he shouldn't be going, because that street has a speed limit. Nobody ever goes a speed limit on that street. So I'm thinking he was already coming down that street a little faster than he should have. He wasn't paying attention. And when I had already turned, it was probably right in front of him where I cut him off, quote unquote, because he was going the speed he shouldn't be going, and he almost hit me, and I didn't even notice until he decided to pull me over. That's what I think actually happened. And that's why he made an emphasis on, if I would have gotten hit, it would have been my fault. So I'm like, wow, on Mother's Day, really? Meanwhile, there's people a block away in the intersection going through red lights. And you're stopping me, claiming that I did not look both ways and I went through a stop sign, which is a bunch of baloney. But anyway, I'm not going to let that ruin my Mother's Day, because like I said, it had a good ending anyway. I didn't get a ticket. However, when I looked at the warning, well, I didn't really look at it, my son did. When my son looked at the warning, he's like, Mom, he put you down that you have a 2026 Buick Enclave. You don't have a 2026 Buick Enclave. And I said, I know I don't. Unless he's predicting something that I don't know. Am I going to get an Enclave in the future? A brand freaking spanking new one? I mean, I have a 2019 Buick. It's not an Enclave. I'll tell you all what it is. It's an Encore. You know? But it's a 2019. Not to be confused with a 2026 Buick Enclave. Mind you. Water break. Water break. It is boiling hot in this car. So I'm like, at least he's got something, like, I don't know, is it giving me a premonition? And then the name of the street that he said that he had stopped me at was not the name of the street. Neither was it the name of the business or the street of the business. He put some random address, and I looked it up, and I'm like, this address is not even here. And I showed it to my son. I said, look, it's an empty lot. There's not even a stop sign there where he's claiming that I went through. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Are you drunk, officer? Then maybe you should be the one getting a ticket. Are you drunk? You not only put the wrong street that I supposedly passed this stop sign, but you also put the wrong car. I'm surprised you even got my name right. Like, what in the world? I told my husband about it, and my husband was like, oh, he's just being a jerk, an asshole, whatever. He's just trying to meet his quota. And I go, I get that, because there's a lot of police officers out and about right now, since it's Mother's Day. And I guess they think, oh, the mothers are going to be drinking. Mothers gone wild on Mother's Day. Better get out there and get tickets done. Oh, hang on, guys. I need a towel under my seat because, under my legs. I'm sweating. Oh. So freaking hot. And my thighs are beginning to stick to the seat and getting itchy. Yeah, we don't want itchy thighs on Mother's Day. So, anyhow, like I'm saying, like, that was just really, really weird. Really weird. And uncalled for. And on Mother's Day. And I almost told him, yeah, happy Mother's Day to your mother, sir. I'm sure she's very proud of you. But, anyhow, I hope that you all are having a better Mother's Day. Like, thank goodness I didn't get a ticket, right? I'm grateful for that, but wow. That was just, let me know what you all think about it, because isn't it just weird? I'm not even making this up. Like, I would show you all the warning he gave me with the vehicle that he put down there, and it's not even mine, but it's got my name and my address on there. Well, my mother's address. I haven't changed it, but yeah, like, has that ever happened to any of you all? Like, I've heard of people say, yeah, I got, oh, look, Birdie, did y'all see that? Hi, Birdie. Bye, Birdie. I've heard of people saying that, yeah, I've been pulled over and they let me go. But have you been pulled over and accused of something you really didn't do? You knew, like, if they pull you over for speeding, they tell you, like, ma'am, but you know you were going like 50 in a 35-mile line or whatever, okay, you deserve that ticket, or, you're grateful that they didn't give you a ticket because, yeah, you already know you were going fast. But for them to pull you over and accuse you of something that you know you did not do, and then put the wrong car, the year, the make, the model, and the wrong address where this incident happened, has that ever happened to anybody? Like, it's just really strange. I've never heard of this happen to anybody before. This has never happened to me before. It's been years since I've been pulled over. The last time that I've been pulled over, I can tell you all, was back in that long ago. It was like, oh my god, between 2008 and 2010, one of those years. That's how long. And I was running late for work when I was working at the dealership at the old address that we had. That was the last time I got pulled over, you all. That was the last time. I've never been pulled over since, let alone for going through a stop sign at a neighborhood. That's just too weird for me. So anyway, we can call it my funny Mother's Day story. And as soon as I get my son, I'm going to go home. We're waiting for some food. And because my husband sent me money for me to get something for dinner. And oh, by the way, if y'all are curious, I am doing a little bit better. I'm hoping to keep doing better. I'm still not ready to share what it is that I had to do, and to be honest, I probably won't, because it's really personal. But I am starting to come around. So anyhow, you all enjoy your Mother's Day. Thank you for listening. Love you all. Bye.